in sequence to this, we would like to listen about the practice that you used to do. In a gap of 10 minutes, you used to get a code. And even in schools also, like he was the one person who used to be ready for practice all the time. After his school, between the gaps, exercise gaps, when he sees the seniors are not there on court, so he'll immediately grab the code. Like few things were there, I guess, and for the championship, the shuttle thing. So I would request you to just give us the background of that, and plus your first Doordarshan appearance. Till that point, we would surely love to listen that why all these small things were important. Why coming into newspaper at that time was also very important for you.
For me, sport was everything, but it was still never a career. In my mind, it was everything. But Telugu parents, maths, physics, and chemistry, engineering, and medicine. So I went on to write and to add to my problems, my brother went to IIT. So, so life was not easy. It was a tough life. So we had some pretty strong people at home to match up to. So life was difficult. But having said that, I always in my mind, and I always would say this at that point of time, I was not smart enough. I was not smart enough because sport is not a smart choice. If people were to think about ROIs and career options, sport doesn't fit very well. I remember my teacher, ma'am, used to say, Gopi, there'll be one national champion, but there'll be so many engineers. What are the chances that you will be a national champion? Why play the sport? And she was genuinely wanting me to do well in life. And she was the teacher who, when I won the All England, she just cried and I cried. And it was genuine love which made her say that when I was young. She said, your one brother goes to IIT, he'll be a big guy. And the other brother, what happens to you? So she was genuinely concerned. But I think that's the reality of sport also. So for me, I think those moments were important. Those challenges were important. And they were all packs at home. If I studied loudly from 4:30 to 5:30, back in the day, schools now I think have moved a little bit, the ratification or the by heart language. I think I had to study loudly so that my mother could hear in her bedroom continuously for 1 hour. And if there was a gap, then she would shout and I would go on again. So that process actually ensured that I played badminton. And in school, the thing was that from 5:30 in the morning, when I went back to school, the teachers remembered me as the kid who came last to class and was the first to run out of class. That is how they remembered me. Because if I went early to the stadium, I would get the court 10 minutes more than the others would. And if everybody left at 7:30, I had that small window till 7:45 to run, to play extra for 15 minutes, run back home, and then change, have a bath, eat breakfast, and report to school at 9 o'clock. So that whole process I had mastered to the minute, and I would just reach the bell. Before the bell and the doors close, I would reach the school. So that is one. The other thing was, the pact was every 15 minutes I studied, literally every 45 minutes I studied, 15 minutes I would get to do all practice at home. That is what it was. So I get my 15 minutes if you study 45 minutes. This is before the exams. So that is how I kind of maximized and played. I was mad after the sport. I didn't know what I would do in life, but I was mad. I loved the sport. And I think today when I look back, I think that's what helped. That madness helped. But it is scary to think that I didn't have a plan B. And it's scary to think that what if I had failed?
Yes, and while playing, coming into newspaper would add some value to like, okay, fine, you come late, right?
Yeah, today's day and age, I think Suhas is here. I think, thank you, Suhas, for all your work. Because what happens is, I remember I beat Paul-Erik Hoyer Larsen uh, at the Austrian Open. He was the Olympic medalist of '96. And I clearly asked my mother, Mom, did it come in the newspaper? Because you're in Austria, you're playing a tournament, you're playing the semi-finals, you beat the world #1 Olympic medalist, Olympic gold medalist. And then you go back and all you're wanting is somebody acknowledging that you won. And that newspaper, mom said, no, it's come big in the newspaper. Nothing came. That is the reality. You want some recognition somewhere. So when people write, and today's day and age, things might be a little different. But back in the day, just to see in the results section, one name written, Gopichand beat so and so, 15-8, 15-6. That you underline, show it to the principal, show it to your teacher, show it. My mother would show it to our relatives who say that what is the use of this fellow playing sport? So I think those small things do make a difference, and press makes a difference. And I think the support which you get from these quarters does matter, and I think it's a very important part.
And that's when we are talking about the support thing. We must mention the support of your parents, your family, that it is mentioned in the biography as well, that for years they haven't went to the movie. Hoteling was not the option. And uh,
I think it's, to be honest, some of the things I've done in my life have been crazy. They're not supposed to be done like that. And for today's day and age, I think for our parents, it's very difficult, or my kids, to even think of it that I did these things. My first biryani, which I ate in Hyderabad, was in 2002. It's like unbelievable. I went to a restaurant twice in my life before that, even in Hyderabad. So it's almost like crazy stuff. So, and to be fair, I think the kind of sacrifices which the family has made is unreal. My father had 4 shots and he was a manager of a bank. But 3 kids, he would have, he would have, or mom would have to wash and get the shirt ready for Thursday. So that is lit. We were not in poverty by any chance. But there was not a rupee extra we had to spend. So if we went to a restaurant and that chicken curry was 30 rupees, my mom would say, get it 1 kg, we'll make it at home, and we can eat all of us twice that day. So that is the kind of work. And I'm again saying we did it very happily. We didn't have extra money, but whatever money was needed was there. When I had my injury, I remember we needed 94. I had a brace to be bought. It was $500. There back in the day, $30 rupees was there. It was the same money as much as a Kawasaki Bajaj was at that time. So I remember my friends telling me, "Kya kar rahe hai? Gaadi kharid leta, अच्छा hai." But my parents didn't what batter an eyelid, what they call it, batter an eyelid for actually that money to be spent. We didn't have extra money, but actually we did that. When I went for my All England, she 15,000, 20,000 rupees was what was needed. 5,000 my college gave. The rest of the 10,000, another 15 was needed. We managed to get 10,000. My mother had to put her last bit of jewelry, the Mangal Sutra as they call it. But we did it all happily. I don't think my parents have said it. And probably the saddest thing in my life would be that my sister didn't play badminton because the cycle had only 2 places, and I and my brother had to go on it. So kind of some of these things are scary when you look at it, but they did it happily, and thankfully, when I look at this journey today, it's God's grace. We are all there, and that All England, I went on, played well, um, and we would eat in the gurudwaras to just save that little extra money. And we went to the French Open, and I and Dipankar both had finished our money, and we had reached the quarterfinals, and our hotel booking had finished. So Puri sir, who was our head coach then, put us with a Pakistani friend of his who was a um, Victor dealer, Abdul, and his wife made us some fantastic biryani because she saw two famished bukhe log in playing. So these were the kind of stories we would have, and I came back from that time picking up old shuttles at the All England because many countries left old shuttles at the All England. And I would stay back to bring those shuttles back because shuttles was a prized possession there. So I think these were the kind of things I've done. Some of it crazy. I don't know why I did it, but yes, I think I've worked hard. But to be honest, and this, when somebody looks at it from the outside, might sound like a story of poverty and hardship. And no, it was a life which was blessed. And I was supremely happy doing it. And God's grace, things have worked out phenomenally well for me in my life.